They said her life stopped the day she sat in that wheelchair. But they were wrong, because that day was only the beginning. Lily Parker sat outside the New York Rehab Center, looking at her legs, whispering, "Why did this happen to me?" When a voice behind her said slowly, "Who told you your life is over?" She turned, confused, hurt, and broken. And there he stood, Marcus Green, the man who would shake her world in ways she never saw coming. She did not know him yet, but he looked at her like she was more than her wheelchair, and that alone made her heart tremble. "Lily," he said softly, "I want to know who told you that you are a burden." The moment he asked that question, everything inside her shook. Her mother's sighs, her brother's silence, her fiancé running away, the cold words, the pity, all returned at once. She looked up at him with tears gathering, saying, "Everyone did, Marcus, everyone did." He moved closer, voice calm but strong. "Then let me show you that they are wrong." And from that moment, viewers, the air changed. Something dangerous, something emotional, something life-changing entered her story. She had no idea that this man, this stranger, would be the one to pull her out of darkness and show her a worth she never knew she still had. Are you ready? Because this story is about to carry you into a place where pain meets hope, and where a black man saw a broken woman and said, "You are not finished." The wind was cold that morning, soft but sharp on Lily Parker's skin, as she sat in her wheelchair outside Riverside Rehabilitation Center in New York. She watched people walking past the gate, their feet steady, their bodies strong, and every step they took felt like another reminder of what she had lost. 3 months had passed since the accident, yet the pain was still fresh, sitting inside her like a heavy stone that refused to move. She looked down at her legs, quiet and still, and whispered to herself, "I do not even know who I am anymore." Her voice was thin, shaking, almost like she was scared to hear herself speak. The city around her was noisy, cars moving, people talking, but inside her heart there was nothing but silence. She remembered the night everything changed. She was driving home after teaching her last dance class of the day. Dance was her world, her joy, the thing that made her feel alive. She had dreams of opening her own studio one day, a small place where kids could learn movement and expression. She used to laugh easily, breathe easily, and walk into any room with confidence. But that night, as she drove through the intersection, a drunk driver ran the red light, and her whole world broke in 1 second. She woke up in the hospital, unable to feel her legs. She heard doctors saying words she did not fully understand, words like spinal injury, limited sensation, long recovery, no guarantees. She waited for comfort from the people she loved, but instead she saw fear in their eyes. Her fiancé, Ryan, left her 2 weeks later, saying he could not handle a future with a disabled partner. Her mother, Margaret, started visiting with sad eyes and long sighs, saying things like, "My poor child, and your future will be so hard now." Her brother Jake could hardly stay in the room for more than 10 minutes. He stood far away, avoiding her wheelchair, unsure of how to talk to her. Slowly, painfully, Lily began to believe what they believed, that she was now a burden. She held the wheels of her chair tightly that morning, trying to breathe normally, but the sadness pressed down on her chest. She closed her eyes and whispered, "Maybe they are right. Maybe I am too much for everyone." Just then, a calm voice behind her said gently, "Who told you that?" Her eyes opened. She turned her head slowly. Standing a few steps away was a black man in his early 30s. He had calm, brown eyes, warm skin, and a quiet strength in his face. He wore scrubs and held a tablet in his hand. "I am Marcus Green," he said softly, moving closer so she would not strain her neck to look up at him. "I am your new physical therapist." Lily let out a dry laugh, but it was full of pain. "Physical therapist number 4, she said, shaking her head. "The others left me and gave up. You will not last either." Marcus pulled a chair in front of her and sat, so they were eye level. His voice stayed steady, patient. "I read your file, Lily. Your injury is serious, I know that. But serious does not mean hopeless. I will stay with you as long as it takes." Lily looked away. She felt tears pressing behind her eyes, but she tried to keep them from falling. "You do not understand," she whispered. "I cannot walk. I cannot dance. I cannot do any of the things that made me, me. I am just a burden now." Marcus watched her quietly, his expression soft but focused. "Can I tell you what I see?" he asked. She shrugged. "You see pity, a patient you must help, another sad case in a wheelchair." "No," he said firmly, but his voice stayed gentle. "I see a woman who survived something terrible, a woman who lost so much, yet is sitting here still breathing and still trying. I see someone with more strength than she knows." Lily blinked slowly. No one had spoken to her like that since the accident. Marcus leaned back slightly, giving her space. "But I also want to be honest with you. Therapy will be hard. Some days you will feel tired and angry. Some days your body will not respond the way you want. But none of that makes you weak, it makes you human." Lily swallowed hard, feeling a small shake in her voice. "Easy for you to say. You can walk. You do not know what it feels like to lose your whole life in one night." "You are right," Marcus said quietly. "I do not know what it feels like to lose my legs, but I know what it feels like to be treated as less than. I know what it feels like when people judge you before they know you. I know what it feels like when the world expects you to be grateful for the smallest things." Lily looked at him, confused. "What do you mean?" "I mean," Marcus said slowly, "that as a black man, I have been treated like I do not belong, like I am dangerous, like I am not capable. I have had people follow me in stores. People assume I am the janitor when I am the therapist. People look at me and see a problem instead of a person." Lily's face softened. She had never heard a therapist speak like that. "So no," Marcus continued, "I do not know your pain, but I know pain, and I know this: you are not a burden. You are hurting, and you need support, but that does not make you less." For the first time in weeks, Lily felt her chest loosen, just a little. A small breath escaped her lips. "Why are you saying all this to me?" she asked quietly. "Because," Marcus said, "you deserve to hear the truth. And the truth is simple. You still have worth, you still matter, and I am here to help you see that." Lily lowered her head, tears finally falling. She whispered, "I do not know if I can do this." Marcus reached out, not touching her, just placing his hand where she could see it. "You do not have to know today. You only have to try, and I will be right here while you do." Lily lifted her eyes slowly, meeting his. For the first time since the accident, something small moved inside her, something warm, something she had almost forgotten. "Hope?" She nodded. "Okay," she whispered, "but do not say I did not warn you if I am terrible at this." A soft smile touched his face. "Deal." As he wheeled her back toward the entrance, Lily felt the faintest shift in her heart. She did not know what would happen next, but something was changing, something slow and powerful, something she was not ready for but needed deeply. She had no idea that Marcus Green was about to change everything. The next 2 weeks at Riverside Rehabilitation Center moved slowly for Lily Parker, slower than she expected. Every day was long, every moment felt heavy, and every exercise felt like a mountain she had to climb without legs to carry her. But even with the pain and the frustration, something else was happening, something she did not fully understand. Marcus Green was becoming the one person she looked forward to seeing each morning. He never rushed her, never sighed in frustration, never treated her like she was too fragile to touch. Instead, he spoke to her in a calm tone, steady and firm, reminding her that she still had a life to live, even if it would look different now. He pushed her harder than the previous therapists, but he also celebrated each tiny win, even the ones she thought were meaningless. On the 8th day, when she felt a slight tingling in her left foot, she rolled her eyes and whispered, "It is nothing." Marcus crouched beside her, eyes bright with excitement. "Lily, that is not nothing. That is your body sending signals. That means something is happening inside you." She looked at him, confused. "It is just a tingle." "To you it is small," Marcus said gently, "but to your nervous system it is a message. It means your body is trying. That matters." For a moment, Lily felt something warm move inside her. She did not know if it was pride or hope or fear, but she let the feeling stay. Other staff members noticed the change too. Nurse Angela Reed smiled one afternoon as she walked past the therapy room. "Whatever you are doing with Lily," she said to Marcus, "keep doing it. She is showing more effort than she has in months." Marcus only replied with a small smile. "I am listening to her. That is all." But the medical director, Dr. Thomas Miller, did not share the same feeling. He stopped Marcus one morning outside the evaluation room, his face tight and tired. "Marcus, I have been looking at Lily's files," he said. "Her improvements are minimal." Marcus stood still. "Progress takes time." Dr. Miller shook his head. "The MRI shows clear damage. She will not walk again. You are giving her too much hope." "I am giving her purpose," Marcus replied calmly. "There is a difference." "Be careful," Dr. Miller said. "Emotional attachment to patients creates problems. You are spending too much time with her." Marcus kept his expression calm, but inside he felt a pull he could not deny. He knew he was getting attached. He knew he was thinking about Lily even outside work hours. He also knew that this was dangerous. But even with the warnings, he found himself drawn to her. Her determination, her quiet humor that came out slowly, her fight to keep going even when she felt worthless. He could not help caring. Lily, on her side, was thinking about him too. Not in a romantic way, at least not at first, but in a way that made her feel safe for the first time in months. She started trusting him in ways she did not trust her own family. One afternoon, as they were working on core strength exercises, Marcus said, "Tell me about your life before the accident." Lily took a long breath, feeling her voice shake slightly. "I was a dance instructor on the Upper West Side. I taught kids mostly. Dance was everything to me." Marcus nodded. "Do you miss it a lot?" She gave a small, broken laugh. "It feels like it was someone else's life. Someone stronger. Someone better." "You are still you," Marcus said simply. "The person who loved dance is still inside you. You just cannot see her right now." Lily looked down at her hands. "Ryan told me I was not the same person anymore. Jake cannot stay in the room with me. My mother cries every time she visits. They see my wheelchair before they see me." Marcus adjusted her position gently. "People do that to me too," he said quietly. "See my skin color first, make assumptions, decide who I am before learning who I am. But Lily, their view does not define your truth." His words hit her deeply, like they were touching something she had kept hidden. For a moment she felt seen in a way she had not felt since the accident. Later that day, her brother Jake visited. He stood by the window in her room, hands in his pockets, avoiding eye contact like always. "Mom wants to know if you are coming for dinner on Sunday," he mumbled. Lily looked at him, her voice soft but tired. "Will you all spend the time treating me like I am made of glass?" Jake frowned. "We are trying to be supportive." "No," Lily said, shaking her head. "You are trying to manage your discomfort. There is a difference." Jake opened his mouth but said nothing. Lily took a breath. "Jake, I need people who can handle being around me without pity. Can you do that?" "I am trying," he whispered. "But you are different now." Lily's voice cracked. "I am the same person. I just cannot walk. But you all treat me like I died in that accident, like this version is some sad replacement. It hurts, Jake." Jake looked down, unable to respond. He left minutes later without saying goodbye. Lily stared at the door after he left, feeling a heavy ache in her chest. The The pain was different from the physical pain. This pain felt like losing her place in her own family. That evening, as she sat alone in her room, she heard a soft knock. The door opened slowly, and Marcus stepped in with 2 plates of food. "I brought dinner," he said softly. "I thought you might need company that does not come with pity." Lily felt her eyes warm. She gave a small nod. "Thank you," she said. "Please stay." They ate together quietly at first, but slowly their voices filled the room with soft conversation. Marcus told her stories about his childhood in Queens, about his mother's strength, about his dreams of helping people heal. Lily told him about her old dance students, about her dreams that felt lost, about the sadness she tried to hide. For the first time since the accident, Lily laughed. It was small, weak, but real. By the end of the meal, she realized something shocking. Marcus was not just helping her heal her body, he was helping her heal her heart, piece by piece. And she did not know how to feel about that, because the last thing she expected was for her therapist to be the one person who made her feel alive again. But a storm was coming, a storm neither of them was ready for. The days that followed felt strange for Lily Parker, almost like she was living 2 different lives. In one life, she was still the woman sitting in a wheelchair, trying to understand her future, trying to accept that her legs no longer moved the way they used to. But in the second life, she was someone who felt seen, someone who felt understood, someone who felt safe in a way she had not felt since before the accident. These new feelings came from one person, Marcus Green. Their dinners continued quietly, always after hours, always simple, always real. Sometimes they talked about her progress, sometimes they talked about his childhood, sometimes they talked about nothing important at all. But each conversation brought them closer, slowly and quietly, like 2 people walking near each other without saying they were walking together. One night, as they finished eating, Marcus said something that changed everything. He placed his cup down gently and looked at her with eyes full of care. "Lily," he said softly, "you need to know something. I cannot pretend anymore." Her heart tightened. "Pretend what?" she asked. He took a slow breath. "I care about you," he said. "Not only as your therapist, more than that." Lily felt the room shift around her. She blinked several times, unsure if she heard him correctly. "Marcus," she whispered, "you cannot say that." "I know," he replied, "but it is the truth. And I do not want to hide it anymore." Her voice trembled. "I am in a wheelchair. My life is complicated. Everything about me is heavy. Why would you, someone like you, feel anything for me?" "Someone like me," he repeated quietly. "Lily, you are not heavy. You are strong, you are kind, you are trying every single day. You have no idea how much strength I see in you." Her hands trembled on her lap. "But I am broken," she said, barely able to speak. He shook his head. "You are not broken. You are healing." Before either of them could say more, a sharp voice echoed from the hallway. "Marcus Green." They both turned. Dr. Miller was standing at the door, his face stiff, his eyes cold. His presence filled the room with a sudden pressure. "Step outside," Dr. Miller said, pointing toward the hallway. Marcus stood slowly. Lily watched, fear tightening her stomach. She could hear their voices outside, low at first, then rising. "I received complaints," Dr. Miller said sharply. "You are spending too much time with her." "She needs emotional support," Marcus replied. "She needs boundaries," Dr. Miller snapped. "This is not allowed. You are crossing lines." "I am doing my job," Marcus said calmly. "No," Dr. Miller said, voice getting harder. "You are getting attached, and I cannot allow it. Either you transfer Lily to another therapist, or you will be removed from this center." Lily's breath caught. She could hear her own heartbeat in her ears. She waited, hoping Marcus would defend himself, hoping Dr. Miller would change his mind, hoping something, anything, would happen to make the moment softer. But the hallway stayed silent. Marcus returned to the room slowly. His face looked calm, but his eyes carried a weight she had never seen before. "Lily," he said gently, "I need to talk to you." A tear slipped from her eye. "He is taking you away from me," she whispered. Marcus knelt beside her wheelchair, meeting her at eye level. "No," he said quietly. "He is not taking me away. I am stepping away." She felt a sharp pain in her chest. "Why?" she asked. "Did I do something wrong? Am I too much?" He shook his head slowly. "You are not too much. You are never too much. But I cannot be your therapist and feel what I feel for you. It is not fair to you." Her voice broke. "What do you feel?" Marcus took a slow breath. "I am falling in love with you," he said simply. The room fell silent. Lily stared at him, unable to speak. She had never expected this. She had never imagined that someone could look at her and see something worth loving. He continued softly. "I asked to transfer your care to another therapist. Her name is Laura Collins. She is kind, she is skilled, and she will take good care of you. I did this because I want to love you the right way, not as your therapist, but as a man who truly cares for you." Lily covered her mouth as tears fell freely. "Marcus," she whispered, "no one has ever said something like that to me, not after the accident." He touched the side of her wheelchair gently, not her skin, just the metal, showing respect for boundaries. "You deserve love," he said. "Not pity, not fear, not people leaving you. You deserve someone who sees you clearly." She looked into his eyes, her voice shaking. "I am scared." "So am I," he said softly. "But we can be scared together." The next day, Laura Collins became her therapist. Laura was gentle and patient, but Lily's heart was somewhere else. Every time she did an exercise, she could hear Marcus's voice in her mind. Every time she felt pain, she remembered how he encouraged her. Every time she felt tired, she remembered how he believed in her. Days passed slowly. Lily tried to focus on her recovery, but something was missing, something important. At night, she thought about Marcus, about his words, about the look in his eyes. She wondered if he regretted telling her the truth. She wondered if she was worth all this trouble. One evening, just as she finished her session, Laura smiled softly. "Someone is waiting for you." Lily turned her head. Marcus was standing near the doorway, holding 2 cups of warm tea. The sight of him made her chest fill with warmth she could not hide. "Hi," he said quietly. Lily rolled closer. "Why are you here?" "I did not want you thinking you were alone," he said, "and I wanted to know if you still want this, us." Her breath caught. "I do," she whispered. He moved closer. "Then we will take it slow," he said. "Slow and real." She nodded, tears shining. "Marcus," she whispered, "I never thought anyone would love me again." He touched the top of her hand gently. "Lily, love does not disappear because life changes. Love grows in the places we think are broken." She closed her eyes, letting his words settle in her heart. When she opened them again, she whispered, "I think I am falling in love with you, too." Marcus smiled, soft and full of warmth. "Then, Lily Parker," he said, "our story begins." And with those simple words, her life shifted again, slowly, carefully, beautifully. Love had found her, not because she was healed, but because she was human, and someone finally saw her worth. Dear viewers, this story reminds us that sometimes life breaks us in ways we never expected, but the right people can help us see the pieces differently. Lily thought her wheelchair erased her future. She thought her worth was gone. She thought she was nothing but a burden. But one man saw her with clear eyes, and his love helped her find herself again. This story teaches us that disability does not remove value, pain does not remove beauty, and real love does not run away when life becomes difficult. Real love stays, real love listens, real love lifts. Dear viewers, tell us in the comments where you are watching from, and tell us what you learned from this emotional journey. Your words matter, your support keeps this channel alive, and we love hearing from you. please remember to like, subscribe, and share this video with someone who needs hope today. And if you want more emotional stories from us, comment more stories, and you will be the first to get the next powerful story. Before you go, answer these 3 questions in the comment section. 1. Do you believe love can truly see a person's worth beyond their struggles? 2. What part of Lily and Marcus's story touched your heart the most? 3. If you were in Lily's shoes, what would be the hardest part to overcome? We cannot wait to read your responses.